And they're off. Both starting off at Link's house. Getting the 50 rupee drop there, but Magnon's decided to save and quit out. It looks like EmoSaru is heading up to check Uncle.
Yeah, we get a bomb upgrade at Sync, so not too much there. EmoSaru with the sign strats, I'm a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting those kills in to get those 8, that really nice bomb pull from the tree there.
Yeah, that's a great tree pull to get early.
Just 20 rupees from the uncle. Now Magnon's going to get a tree pull here as well. Also getting the 8 bombs. So still a nice setup. Oh, and able to collect 15 because of that bomb upgrade.
Yes, very nice. And EmoSaru got a heart container, and she's saving and quitting the sanctuary as well.
Oh, I barely saw what that was on the lumberjack ledge there.
I think it might have been the validation arrow.
Yeah, it looked like an arrow. That's what I thought.
So now I guess it's aggro required, right?
Well, if they want to validate their run and be considered having won the race, they're going to have to. At least for chat to consider them to have won the race.
Very true.
Oh, the power glove. In a very nice location.
Yep, early glove. We're a third of the way to that Dark World access. We'll see what we find in Kakariko. So are you a fan of getting really early Dark World access? Do you like to get trolled for a little while?
I'd like to see early Dark World access when watching a race like this, because then you're almost guaranteed to see the route diversions happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
When playing, I almost kind of like to be able to sweep things up first without having to think like, oh, should I be going to the Dark World? But, you know, we've got a sword from Blindside. And Quake.
Lots of good stuff in Blindside today.
Yeah, really though. We'll see if this will seal the... Oh, just a bomb upgrade. But still that sword and Quake drop. Very nice.
So in EmoSaru's last match, she came into Blind's hut and forgot to grab the sword out of the bombable wall. So I'm wondering if that's on her mind today.
She has plenty of bombs, so I imagine... Oh, like she bombed it, but just forgot to go grab the chest.
Yes.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Which is something I have done the exact same thing before.
Well, at least she has a sword now, so she knows it's not that she would be missing if she had forgotten about it.
And some money in the well, but not too much else.
No. Still a nice rupee drop, though. Not bad early on when you're thinking about the potential of heading over to Zora, or the potential to get ripped off by the bottle vendor.
Very true, but with that power glove, Zora is in play in the logic, so absolutely having that money is key. So we didn't get a chicken clip there. I wonder if EmoSaru will give us one.
One of them has to. One of them has to. And this also that interesting situation of where, you know, someone watching now might think, oh, Magnon's going through the Kakariko check so much faster, but really, EmoSaru has already checked a few things that Magnon hasn't, so that the time will be made up. So at this point, you know, we're not necessarily seeing any faster movement from one person or the other. It's pretty standard opening routing from both.
Yep. You know, Magnon just took the decision to check Link's house, but to immediately save and quit. So that saved him about a minute over EmoSaru, but he'll have to check the uncle later.
Yeah. Oh, I just missed the race game, but clearly it wasn't anything important.
I think it was a big 20.
That's another thing I've been seeing a lot of is, all of our runners in both tournaments have become very good at catching very quick glances of those overworld or otherwise ledge items that are just kind of sitting there so fast that they don't even notice it happen, but they somehow know. I've seen some of the runners see maybe half of the item and know what it is, and I'm like, I don't even know what they were just looking at. Ooh, a Master Sword and Escape.
Yeah, that's both a great find and a worrisome find for our runners.
Yep, definitely a concerning one.
That, with the exception of needing to find the lamp, that does almost open Agate Tower by the logic.
And we'll see what we get in the dam here. Maybe it'll be that lamp that we're looking for. Oh, it's the mirror.
So that's a great early find, and it does make your early Dark World travels would allow you to double up some things. So you might even think about going to Agate Tower sooner if you get that lamp.
True. It also puts us, as far as the logic sequence goes, it also puts us just a lamp away from Tower of Hera.
That is very true.
Of course, they could probably manage to get there without the lamp as well. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think we haven't had a map check yet, have we?
I don't believe so.
We've got that mini Moldorm cave here with a Master Sword is nice. Very nice feeling. Been seeing most people having it going in here with no sword.
Yeah, usually it's bomb strats, bee strats, cane strats.
Oh, the mushroom. A lot of health in this cave here too.
Yeah, our runners are making good progress through the early locations, but it's just missing a couple of key items to get a lot of things to open up. As we already mentioned, the lamp would open up Death Mountain by the logic, and all the way up through Hera, and it would also open up Agate Tower.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if when you have that mirror and that glove, if you're not finding the lamp soon, do you go and make that play anyway? Maybe you want a few more items first, like something to get over to the east side as well.
Yeah, it's a tough decision because whenever you sequence break, you have to give consideration to what you're actually sequence breaking around, because you could be sequence breaking the lamp, but you also could be like sequence breaking the flute, in which case your opponent could be traveling around the map much faster than you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Magnon's going to head up and check Uncle, which he didn't before, and possibly pop into the front half of Escape as well while he's at it.
Yeah, that's a good play. I think he did get 3 items in the back, so that means there are only 2 left, and if it's in the sewer, only 1 by the logic.
Right.
So EmoSaru is sitting 18 rupees short of Zora money. I wonder if she's thinking of going there anyway. Because she would have the hobo, possibly, to give her a little bit more.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it looks like that's what she's doing. She would probably check Hobo first, especially with no way to get into Waterfall Cave, even to glitch in without the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I think most likely she'll save and quit out of hobo. either that or try to just fake flip her back to the path to Eastern over here. But just because she doesn't have the Moon Pearl or quite enough money for Zora, but we'll see.
And just to answer a question in chat here for Chop, EmoSaru sitting at 2 wins, Magnon sitting at 1 win, but both with 0 losses. So neither of them have lost in their group in the secondary yet.
So EmoSaru did elect to save and quit. Looks like she's making a play on Sarhashala.
Yeah, and this definitely makes a lot of sense too. You, as you were saying, after getting the back 3 items in Escape. Oh, we have Green Pendant up at Tower of Hera and Crystal 6 at Desert. But yeah, after making that play to the back of Escape and seeing 3 items from there, you might be thinking, I'd rather get the lamp before I worry about checking more of Escape, just in case that's where my item is.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. And Magnon making use of the spins here, that's a great strat. 2 spins or 8 slashes with the Master Sword. It's a strange damage table there.
Yeah. And, you know, I've also seen EmoSaru a couple times make the play of going into a Hyrule Castle and actually just going right to the back of Escape first. And it paid off well for her in the seed that I saw, because that's where the progression was. But Magnon's going to go for the Dark Room play.
Yeah, he ended up with the key in the map, so there is an item here.
We may not get to see what it is right away, but hopefully it's something good.
Looks like he's making his way through without too much trouble at all. And EmoSaru continued on into Eastern.
And we'll get to see if this play pays off. I mean, what... As far as, you know, a logic sequence here, what else is technically open to them in terms of item checks?
Agnes Cave? Oh, Hammer in the Dark Room.
Oh, wow. That's a nice find.
Yeah, that makes me think that the lamp is either here in Eastern or in Agnes Cave.
Right.
Or at the Sick Kid.
Or, yeah, or at Sick Kid. That is possible as well.
So Magnon's following EmoSaru's steps over to Sarhashala in Eastern, which is a good play. So I think this is about to open up a bit. It looks like the lamp is the most likely next find for our runners, and that will give them access to all of Death Mountain. The Light World, anyway.
Yeah, we've got to be looking at lamp or flute coming up, and then maybe that Moon Pearl up. Oh, no, I guess we could also find the... Oh, no, because we still need the lamp for the hammer. Yeah, so I feel like we got to be finding the Moon Pearl up on the mountain somewhere.
So the other possibilities are Zora or that mushroom. I should turn that in. Although this could turn into the lamp has got to be here somewhere seed. And you think, okay, by the logic, I'll get there really soon. And then it just keeps going further and further, and you never find it.
Yeah. And it looks like Magnon went for checking Sahasrara, but didn't head over into Eastern, is going up through this dark room here to head up Death Mountain.
Yeah, and the one reason why this is a little bit of a risk is if Hera is fire source locked and the lamp is our way up there. But it's not a bad play. It's a good play. Gets the save and quit point unlocked and gets a lot of items.
Yeah, there's a lot of items to check. It will require a bit of tracking of the sequence break because you don't want to get too far off from that. And we got bomb host from the old man.
Looks like EmoSaru is electing to turn in that mushroom.
Yeah, we're really looking at flute or lamp needing to be somewhere.
And the reason why Magnon's play makes a lot of sense is because right now, like logic-wise, they have a couple of places, but they're spread out all over the map.
Yeah, they're not very convenient spots. Oh, I see the moon pearl there. I think that's what I just saw.
Yeah, and that's going to give him Dark World access.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long it takes EmoSaru to make it to that sewer chest. The hammer blocks a lot, so it might not be too long. But she could do an awful lot without going there at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like she is sort of following, trying to stick to the logic, is probably also thinking, you know, even if I go up to the mountain right now, the game could expect me to have gotten the flute. And I think that's always the tricky thing with the mountain access is that, yeah, you can get up there without the lamp or flute, and the lamp might not be that big of a deal, but you definitely want that flute regardless, not just for the mountain access.
I guess we're stealing the sick kid's clothes today. I'm not sure about that one. So for Magnon, we should expect him to go into Hera and clear it if it's possible, and continue on to East Death Mountain. And it looks like EmoSaru is following in his footsteps.
Yep. We've got the bug net in the basement. But of course, as you were mentioning, if we don't find the big key, if we get a small key in this next chest, then it'll be out of Hera for now. Oh, and there's that big key, so they can head on up there. Of course, There could still be an item.
Yeah, they might end up having to leave an item behind, but at least they'll get their green pendant here, so they have at least one more item coming out of this trip.
I like Magnon's use of that sword spin there to kill those two hard hat beetles.
Yeah, I've not really practiced that strat. The one time I tried to do it on the fly, I knocked myself right back down to the prior level. So,
oh no.
Yeah, that I think it needs some practice, so good on him.
And just a map from there, and he's going to set himself up for the bomb jump to see what's in the big chest. Oh, falling into that hole. And I think that's a double, if I'm not... Yep.
Yep, that's a double. That's why I don't try that bomb jump without the boots. I don't trust myself to be that precise, especially in a tournament race when my my nerves are going a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So EmoSaru gets her Moon Pearl.
And you know, with this... So now with this sequence of events that we've seen now, is Agana the one that's holding out on us?
It's fairly likely that is the case. It could also be Zora.
Zora, right? They still never went to Zora, right?
Yeah, or it could be leading there from... So it could be like the book or something like that.
Yeah. But as far as... Yeah, I was just thinking in terms of as far as what progression they even have open to them.
Yeah. There's just two spots outside of Death Mountain that I can think of. Oh, yeah, Magnon actually left without finishing it. I wonder. I think he did look at his map, though. He might have heard the pendant music. Actually, maybe he didn't look at his map. I think
Yeah,
he saw the map from the EmoSaru side.
Yeah, he might not know that it was green pendant, because really, if you've already gotten there and it's green pendant, it couldn't hurt to grab it. Could also just be thinking in terms of time and kind of just betting on that not being anything. You get the cape here from Spiral Cave.
So what could be? Never mind. They would need to find the lamp. So yeah, they'll have Dark World access by the logic anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking that was another Aghanim hint?
Yeah, that's where my mind went. Oh, the hammer is hidden. The hammer was a sequence break, so maybe they'll have to do Aga, but it would be the same sequence break.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Aga is out now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't really think of a scenario where he would be required at this point. EmoSaru executed that bomb jump with great skill.
Yes, definitely. Definitely something she's been practicing a lot.
And she's coming up here for her green pendant. I don't think Magnon found anything interesting.
No.
But he does have Dark World access, so he'll probably just go do that and try to find the lamp later.
She was almost getting trolled by Trolldorn there, but she made it through. She gets that small key for the basement and her green pendant.
Yeah, it takes 3 Master Sword spins, but if you happen to accidentally poke or swing, then he'll go into that super speed phase right at the end. So
yeah,
it can be a little bit tough. The hammer was in the sewers, Sakura. In the dark room.
Yeah, meaning either Zora or Agana are holding out on us for our lamp or flute access. Maybe not the item itself, but at least access to it.
Yeah, so EmoSaru looks to be doing the front of Escape, and we'll see if she goes to the dark room. That'd be a huge play for her.
Yeah, I imagine she will. Like I said, I've definitely seen her do it before. I've seen her, go straight to the dark room without even checking the rest of Escape, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised if she heads down there. And we have Magnon in the Dark World now checking out Skull Woods.
Early Skull Woods. You can't lose.
You gotta do it. That's what people say. Nice early big key there, although it could mean not getting a small key in this next chest and having to go the long way around.
Yeah, that definitely happens more often than it used to. It happens enough that there is some logic to going in the main door and checking the chest to the right first, in hopes that you get a key there.
Yeah. What will be interesting too, with us, our little game we've been doing of following the logic, is if they do find, if Magnon finds lamps somewhere in this early Dark World area, then we got to conclude that Zora or Agana might have our Titan's mitts.
That could be. Yeah, absolutely. So EmoSaru is heading towards the sewer, which is great for her. Oh, Magnon taking an overworld death.
That's going to set him back a bit as he either has to work his way back or decide to do something else. It looks like he's going to go down into a hype cave check. Oh, or he was. Changed his mind.
Yeah, so after an overworld death, you can sometimes be, a little bit indecisive about what you want to do.
Yeah, it's always tough to decide whether you want to just head back and take the walk back to where you were and continue on through, or do you want to try and skip out and check on something else?
And EmoSaru picks up her hammer.
Very nicely done.
So it looks like EmoSaru is opting to do Hype Cave first. Can we get some hype?
Hype for Hype Cave.
I can't wait to get some rupees and some hearts.
I'm holding out hope for Hype Cave. I have my fingers crossed every time. I still believe in it. I still believe in it. Or as I said earlier, I still believe in it when I'm not the one playing. If I'm seeing other people play, I have hope. When I'm playing, I just assume hook shot. Ah, see? Holding out hope. Holding out hope. Tempered sword.
All right, that was pretty hype.
That was a decently hype cave. Hookshot's pretty big. Hookshot's pretty big.
So is tempered.
Yeah.
Pretty good hype. So I think we saw a map check, and I want to say that Turtle Rock was Crystal 5, and Pod was a pendant, and I didn't catch the other one.
I didn't catch I didn't catch that at all. Wow. That must have been I was on EmoSaru's side, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, there's
the flippers. And they already have a cape too. Nice.
So EmoSaru does not have the cape. I don't know where that was.
Oh.
Was that maybe in Skull Woods?
I'm not sure. I was the whole time I've been thinking they both had it. East Death Mountain.
Huh, okay. Oh, yeah, EmoSaru did not have the hammer when she was up there.
Yeah, because she only just got it. That makes sense.
Just took another overworld death. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he did get his flippers first, so that's a nice find for him.
I was saying now he's going to go for that hype cave check, which is going to be a good move.
Yeah, he'll definitely be glad he did that before going into any of these Dark World dungeons.
Yeah. Oh, and that's some instant access into Swamp for him, isn't it?
Once he does Hype Cave, he will have full Swamp access. Correct?
Wow. Early Swamp plays?
Yeah, I mean, he'll be right in the area. It would make a lot of sense. The logic gave him everything he needs.
Ooh, we got an ice rod.
So yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see Magnon head on over to Swamp.
Yeah, I feel like we've mostly been seeing people, holding out on Swamp until they're sure they can go mode it, but maybe EmoSaru's going there now too. It looks like Magnon's actually opting to head over east.
EmoSaru doesn't have the flippers because
right,
she's up on East Death Mountain, so who knows how long it might be before she can access Swamp.
Yeah, so we know that Swamp would only be able to have the lamp in the very first chest, I guess? No.
Well, it could be... Right, so the lamp cannot be...
I don't think either of them...
It
I don't
depends
know.
if
That's
there was other
weird.
Dark World access that was available.
Yeah, well, and they
Kinda hard
also
to-
needed the East Death Mountain access for the cape to get the flippers. So that's a tricky one. That's interesting.
Right, Zora could easily be our lamp spot here. Just some money on the pyramid and the piece of heart from Hobo.
It looks like EmoSaru is heading up to Catfish and then maybe popping over to Zora while she's at it. Definitely a good way to route this, especially if you might be thinking, from her perspective, that you could also be getting flippers while you're here. Although fake flippering into Waterfall Cave might have also been ideal.
Yeah, comboing this with the Dark World is certainly a good option. And she also knows that if she has been following the logic, that there's a good chance she'll get her lamp up at Zora at this point.
Yeah.
Or if not the lamp, some other progression that she needs to find.
It'll be interesting to see, because it looks like Magnon's heading the same way. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to get out of Waterfall Cave that EmoSaru won't be able to grab right now.
Yeah, that very well could be key.
Oh, and he hasn't turned in the mushroom yet either, so he's getting a lot done coming up here right now.
Yeah, this is a nice route for him.
I didn't get to see Zora Ledge there, unfortunately. It cut off for me for a second.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it either.
But I guess we'll know if... Well, she doesn't have the flippers, but we'll see if when Magnon walks by, or if she gets... Well, no, we know she's not getting the flippers. What are we talking about? We'll know when Magnon walks by if he decides to go and pick it up. Oh, and just a bottle from Zora.
So that is interesting. That almost guarantees that Agana has some sort of progression.
Yeah, I think I'm betting on Agana's holding our Titan's mitts. That's my that's my guess. That's what I think he's got back there, is another glove upgrade.
So I am really interested to see if Magnon is able to get something good out of this route that EmoSaru wasn't able to. EmoSaru with her. Okay, so Myers the other pendant.
Okay. Oh, and nothing from Waterfall Cave.
All right, so we'll see what our runners do here. Magnon has a couple of dungeons that he could go to. He can full clear Thieves Town, and he can full clear Swamp Palace. So I would expect him to make one of those two choices, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening, especially again, I think we've seen a lot of people holding off on Swamp, but this is very, very early access to it. But based on that, I could still see Thieves being the first dungeon to jump into.
Yeah, it's usually good advice in V26 that if the logic gives you every single item you need for a dungeon pretty early, just go there.
just go do it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in this North Dark World route that EmoSaru is taking. Could pay off for her well. It is going to let her see where those flippers are sitting, assuming she walks by that way just to see what's in Bumper Cave, and then she'll be thinking about how she can get her hands on the cape.
Yeah, that's a good point. She does have the saving quit spot up on Death Mountain, so she does know that she has easy access with the hook shot now. She might very well decide to go do that at some point soon. Given her inventory, though, I expect her to make her way to the Village of Outcasts and to do Thieves Town as the most likely choice. Maybe with a pit stop in Skull Woods.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening too. Oh, she's about to see it and know that she needs to find that cape somewhere. If this pterodactyl will stop trolling her. There we go.
At least she has the tempered sword, which makes quick work of those murder dactyls, but
Yeah.
they're still quite the pain.
Murder dactyls, nice. That's an appropriate name. So EmoSaru is popping down into Skull Woods, which we've seen. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think there was Skull Woods value today.
No, I don't think so. While Magnon is doing some great Village of Outcast routing here and being able to pop by and check Sick Kid. Get that blue mail.
Yeah, and just because of the order he's done things, he's had his route just work out better. And it's not because EmoSaru made poor decisions or he's making better decisions. It's just they made reasonable decisions with what they knew at the time, and it's working out better for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was that case of having so few locations open that were also spread out that, they were thinking about, do I sequence break? Do I not? And, EmoSaru was opting for checking a few more items before doing the sequence breaking, which isn't a bad move. It could have paid off.
And there's our Titans bits in Thieves Town.
Oh, wow.
So that opens up quite a bit.
That does open up quite a bit, and that's got to put Agina is holding our flute? No, because
it's got to be the lamp, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be the lamp because flute wouldn't have ended up leading us to the lamp. So yeah. The Samus bunny sprite there, Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah, I love all the bunny sprites.
Oh, and we have all the medallions, so no need to worry about how you're getting into Mire or Turtle Rock.
I'm starting to think, what do we actually still need? We need the bow, we need the fire rod, and we need the cane.
Yeah.
We might need the boots.
Yeah,
and then we need a way into desert.
Yeah, so either the book or the flute. At this point, would give that to us.
So we haven't been in too many dungeons, and we're 5 items away. So not so bad so far.
Yeah, no, the overworld has paid off pretty kindly. And I didn't even think about the potential of the book. I guess Agina could even be holding the book, and then desert lamp, and that somehow
absolutely.
The flute.
But the boots are required for desert. That means you get the boots as your go mode item because that's just the way it works in V26.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You get it as your go mode item on the laser bridge.
Absolutely, that's the boot location.
Everyone knows that's where it always is. It's not even randomized, actually.
Sometimes it's the change bounce. They like to eat some boots too.
Right. That should really just be a toggle on the randomizer options. If you choose which of those two locations it will be, but it has to be one of them.
Yeah, they don't exist anywhere else. Or GT. I mean, you can always put it in GT
Right.
if they're not required.
Yeah. Only if the key is on the bonk torch, and if the big key is on the bonk torch in Ganon's tower, though. That's when you put the boot somewhere in there.
That's right. So both of our runners are in Thieves Town. Magnon forgot that he didn't grab a key yet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think he forgot about his key there, but he's still looking for some items. Still, that the Titan's Mitt drop was definitely some big progression. Oh, and I guess we also had Ether.
I do wonder if there is progression in Swamp, if those Titan's Mitts will lead him elsewhere for a while.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it could lead him towards things.
Because now he has access to ice with Bombos. He has access to Dark Death Mountain. He can't do that much there, but he does have Super Bunny Cave. Oh, he does have Hookshot, so yeah.
Yeah, and Hookshot.
He just can't get into Turtle Rock yet.
And we even have the last few Village of Outcast spots, which would probably be, with the way this is set up, where you're going to go next anyway. You're just going to pop out of Thieves after grabbing some Titan's Mitts, which it just occurred to me that this is the vanilla dungeon for those.
Yep, nice vanilla-ish Titans.
Yeah. Then you're probably going to pop over and grab the blacksmith, check the pegs.
Yeah, that would be the most logical next step, I would think.
And that could lead him back to Swamp, actually. He'll be right there if he decides to grab the purple chest and drop that off.
And since we don't have the flute yet, he would probably walk through the Dark World.
Yeah. We also have had a very generous overworld so far, so it's kind of showing the importance of checking this stuff out on that rare occasion that we don't have the everything in dungeons logic that people are expecting from V26.
That's right, and I just remembered that I don't think EmoSaru has cashed in her green pendant yet, so if that turns out to be important, that could really help her catch up here. But Magnon did pick up our first crystal, and it was around 42 minutes in, so we're making progress. And now he's getting his ice rod.
Getting out just in time to not have to get caught by that dialogue box.
That means you win.
Yep. I'm pretty excited about the way the routing in this seed has been going. It feels, again, it feels very much not what people expect from V26, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they are in a spot where they have a lot of options for this point in the seed. So it really, whatever decisions they make from here could have a huge impact on how this race turns out.
Just a heart container from the hammer pegs. We'll see in a moment if the blacksmiths have anything good for us today. It's too bad they don't have any powder. Make it the full experience of checking everything in this area.
Yeah, but you know, if you find a powder late when you're looking for one more item, it's just like V26 telling you, okay, go turn this in right away.
True, true. So I imagine we'll see EmoSaru doing the same set of moves here, although she's already done the digging game, so she'll be able to grab the locksmith. Not have to hop down there first.
Yeah, so we're getting to the point where we're gonna see what our runners do. It's really good for EmoSaru to get those Titan Smiths because that will send her back up to Death Mountain, I would believe, sooner than Magnon, since she hasn't checked the east side yet.
True, that's a lot of items open to her, one of which we know she needs. And potentially other ones hanging out there that Magnon might not be checking out soon. The item location checks in this area can be a little bit slow jumping from one to the other, and I'm just waiting for that one thing to drop. I'm just waiting for that one item to pop up here. No, Swamp has not been done yet, so I think Magnon's probably headed there now after he drops this off.
Yeah, I still think it would be the smart play for him, but those Titan Smiths could distract him, so we'll see what he decides to do. And honestly, Ice Palace is also a good play right now.
Yeah, that's true, and it's also right here, so there's some immediate dungeon access just right to the east of that item drop off there. It looks like he is probably going to go and hop into Swamp here.
So we're going to get some divergence.
Yeah, EmoSaru doesn't have that option. She's going to have to go somewhere else. Probably the mountain. At this point, Death Mountain is probably... That's a lot of items.
Yeah, that's definitely the most likely case. Oh, she's going to go pick up her lamp. That is a smart play. Lamp or book?
I was going to say, I like how you said her lamp, as if we know that's what it is already. It would be great if it's not. Watch us just both realize we've just be completely shocked.
It could be over here in desert, right? It'd actually be very handy if it was the book, because she has her portal right there. She could go back and check Bomba's tablet right away.
True. And it's the lamp.
Yep, there it is.
We can see again.
And it is the first fire source, so it could be required. Not it's logically required, but it might not just be to skip dark rooms.
That's true, and I don't recall the exact item count of if they had found both, or if there was still one way.
I think they found both in Hera, but if they had to go into Pendant Mire, the Fire Rod could be locked behind Lamp there, or Desert Palace, it could be locked on Lamb Molas, or in the Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, never mind. Turtle Rock is the other crystal, so it could still
Oh, yeah. And EmoSaru is heading over to East Death Mountain. Got knocked back by a boulder there. Pushed her off course. But I think I'm interested to see... I mean, we know this is going to pay off in terms of the cape, and I'm excited to see if it also pays off, in terms of any items in the Dark World.
Yep, it looks like Magnon's going for a full clear from the start. I think that's a good choice here.
Mm-hmm.
And we were mentioning before that Magnon had some nice combo routes work out for him, but here EmoSaru actually has a nice combo on East Dark Death Mountain and Light Death Mountain that Magnon couldn't do.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of my favorite to do. If you can get all of East Death Mountain checked all at once, it's just such a high volume of chests all bunched up together.
It's definitely a fun way to do it, but lately there's just been a whole bunch of junk here. So if you go and open up 15 chests in a row and you don't get anything, it's kind of disappointing after that.
Was the cave at the end of Spiral Cave?
It must be.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. It was also really far away too, so it sounded really loud. It was actually, I mean, it was even louder than you think it was.
No value on the left side of Swamp. Feels bad.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling. But like we were saying, I think it was the right move in this situation for sure.
Yeah, very, very defendable move given where they're at right now.
Oh, and no big key yet for Swamp either, so we've got to get deeper in there to find that somewhere.
So EmoSaru knows that she can pick up her flippers whenever she's ready to. So I'm sure that's a bit of a relief.
Yeah, and I wonder if well, I guess it depends on if anything else pops up here. If you would want to head right to grab those and pop into these dungeons.
Yeah, she could put it off if she wants to do Ice Palace first. She could just fake flipper into there. She knows it's in the logic now, so she can full clear.
True.
Oh, we have a Fire Rod in Swamp.
The Fire Rod in Swamp, nice. And we did just have half magic on EmoSaru's side, so maybe not progression, but still a nice item to have, even if nothing else ends up being up here.
EmoSaru out of habit checking the T-Rock medallion, but he hasn't.
We got Brian too. Oh, and the boots.
Nice.
That could make a significant difference if Magnon doesn't end up coming up here, even if they're not required. Just one runner having the boots and the other not can make a big difference in where things end up.
Yeah, and with getting both invincibility items back to back, Spike Cave is right on her mind.
Right into Spike Cave, yep.
She's like, I have all the bottles and have magic and both invincibility items. I'm gonna go here.
Yeah, those are a lot of indicators to head over that way, but just for a heart container.
Yeah. It looks like Argus actually had the big key in Swamp, so Magnon has to head back in unless it's the map. I didn't see the map, but that doesn't mean he didn't find it.
I thought I saw a map, and it looks like he is going back in. Pretty sure I saw a map drop.
So it does look like EmoSaru is making a beeline for those flippers.
Yeah, and I think though those boots, that's a huge find. I think that's going to be significant.
Yeah, it's hard to say how long it's going to take Magnon to get up there because it's most likely, I think, that he'll just go straight to ice.
Oh, and just some bombs from the big chest.
Or don't listen to me because he just saved and quit. So. So he got his fire rod. He might be thinking, let's just go get Mothula down now. It's not really a requirement because I think they got both items out of there. He could save it for later, but you know, it's something you got to do. No point in waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not It's if you know you're going to have to do it either way. Getting out of the way isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, he might just want some time to think about his next move, so it's a good way to just make progress while you're still evaluating your options.
Yeah. And I like how EmoSaru is routing a few other location checks into, just having to have come up here to grab the flippers.
Yeah, this is a really nice route for her.
Just 20 rupees from the King's Tomb, so...
So I must be mistaken. I thought they got both items here, but apparently not. So that makes this a better play, I suppose.
Yeah, that makes sense then. And then I think EmoSaru might be heading down to Swamp now. Well, she could pop over to Ice too, actually. It could be either at this point. I think it's the Swamp play we're about to see.
Yeah, so she's going to be a step behind for crystals, but those boots and she'll just be making up time as we go along. So we'll just see how long it takes Magnon to get up to Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are not go-moding Swamp, at the very least, having boots is nice. It's quite a few long corridors. It's a very rectangular dungeon.
Covered with water, which slows you down even more.
Yeah.
So Magnon's trying to preserve his fire rod shots here.
Yeah, I think this definitely makes sense, especially on the off chance that one of them might even drop a full magic refill that you could grab after lighting the torches. And he does the fire rod shot to light both torches at once, conserving more magic.
So Fire Rod does less damage than Tempered Sword, but it does give you a ranged attack option to try to get Mothula away from the wall in case you can't get...
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Something that's happened to everybody.
Yeah. Right in that spot too. That's always the worst. We did see him conserving his magic very nicely, so we'll see if he decides. I think that now he's just going for it, but he gets a full magic refill.
I guess it works.
So that worked out nicely.
So he'll have the same amount of magic as he had last time coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karnath, they have not been into Pod. They did go into Eastern early, but they did not. Yeah, they were not able to finish it because they don't have the bow. Oh, are we going to see B-strats?
Nice. That's good.
Oh, it's a good bead too. I don't care if it's not as efficient as the tempered sword. This is just great.
It's so good, so good. And you know what? If you're feeling, especially after a hand grab like that, if you're feeling a little tilted, you might as well let the bee do some work for you to get the shovel.
All right, so Magnon gets his 3rd crystal. He has a 2 crystal lead right now.
What are we looking here? Our go mode. We need our Cane of Samaria. We need our bow, and we need our flute. Possibly the book.
Yeah, we need the flute or the book, the cane, and the bow.
Oh, right, Meyer is a pendant, so we might not even have... Yeah. So it would be book or flute, wouldn't it?
It does look like Magnon is making his way up to Dark Death Mountain. So this will be pretty good for him. He'll find his boots. And EmoSaru is doing the full clear of swamp, so she won't find anything on this left side, but she will be getting her fire rod shortly.
Yep. And that might also inspire her to head up to finishing Skullwoods, especially if she's thinking there's an item still there. But then I could also see her going for Ice Palace while she is in this area.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely both good options. I'm a little surprised Magnon didn't immediately check that shovel. Whenever I get a fetch quest in V26 from a dungeon, I'm like, let's cash that in right now.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's just a save and quit away, so.
Yeah, it's not a bad check, and he's probably just planning to do it after this and then head on over to ice.
And at least this way, although he doesn't know this, he'll be able to dash over there when he does it because of this next chest.
Yeah. What are those?
Oh yeah, also making the Spike Cave check. EmoSaru's got her fire rod.
Yeah, so the items have definitely slowed down a bit, as they tend to do at this point in the race. So it really is just a matter where those last couple items are hiding. I expect since we still have Crystal that we can full clear, that's probably our next stop. But after that, they might have to do some searching.
Yeah. And I feel like I might have been correct with that guess of the red cane being elusive, but the bow is another one that likes to hide on you. So...
So, and you might be thinking that even though we have the ice rod and all those medallions, we might not have any pedestal hype, but the flute or the book could both be there.
Or the flute, no, because of Misery.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But the book,
the book could be our way in.
Yeah.
The Paradox book is our way into Desert Palace. That would be pretty good.
Well, no, we would still need to be able to get to Desert Palace because it's one of the pendants. So we need the flute into.
No, Desert's Crystal.
Oh, why? I was looking at Moldorm for some reason on the tracker. I don't know why. You're right. Desert is a crystal. Yeah. So the Paradox book, that could be interesting.
That's what I'll go with. That's what I'll be rooting for from here on out.
Korik just wants to see the trolliest seed possible tonight. It's okay, we all do.
I gonna have the lamp, Barry.
Oh, right. That confused me because that's my name. I was like, wait, what? I know that.
It looks like EmoSaru is heading right over to ice.
Yeah, I definitely like this. As much as Swamp and Ice are, kind of the dungeons that everybody hopes they get to go mode through because it's so quick, the way this has been laid out is pretty nice in terms of popping from one dungeon to the next. Oh, and she has Waterfall Cave to check still as well. We know there's nothing there.
Set her over this way, and that's actually a really nice way to route it in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we already know that it's nothing, but it's very, very good way to route that into everything that's going on over here.
We're going to get a check of the shuffle here pretty soon. Could it be vanilla?
Oh, that would be great. Oh, it's the cane.
Wow, that's a big one. That could actually send him up to Turtle Rock.
You brought up the what are those meme. Do you have a gotta be Kane voice for us? Because I
absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
The shovel dropped off of Mothula checks, so EmoSaru will get it as soon as she goes there. And since Magnon is opting to do ice before T-Rock, it's probably not going to end up being an advantage for him. But this is still a good play. This is probably the smarter play to do this first. But if he had opted for T-Rock, he'd have a better chance of getting something first.
And so we're now down to just... Right, we still need... Oh, we don't necessarily need the flute. I keep forgetting that. So we're still down to just the bow and the book or the flute.
Yeah, we're narrowing down here.
What's interesting as well is that Magnon still never went to pick up that lamp. Which I suspect at this point he kind of assumes it's there.
Yeah, since he found Fire Rod, and even if he knows it's there, it is a little bit out of the way. So if he's comfortable with all his dark rooms, there's no real reason to do it. It also helps out that T-Rock is the only crystal left out of the standard dark rooms, and Eastern, but those are the two easiest. So
I was gonna say that the ones that are left are actually like the easiest ones to navigate. So it's a pretty ideal situation to not have the lamp. I always forget how long it is between the first item you check in ice and then literally everything else.
Ice is a very long dungeon, and that's when you do it the fast way, right?
Yeah, like you check that first chest, and then you got to go through all this, and then suddenly all the chests are clumped up together. It's like, okay, well.
And that was a really nice setup bomb jump from Magnon, so I guess we'll get to see it again. He's so good, he said, here, let's show it again.
Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time.
Oh, and
oh no.
Not the second time.
There we go. Oh no, and EmoSaru just hits are grabbing them today.
Yeah, everybody loves ice physics.
Oh, they're the best. We're finding just dungeon items after.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fun stuff going on in Ice Palace so far.
It's okay. It'll make the bow drop all the better. I actually have a feeling bow probably isn't going to pop up here, but you never know.
No, you really don't. Bo could very easily be in here. It would almost be scary because then you think about, oh, it's my last item in the back of pod. And if Bo is the next item, we're in that weird situation where you have 2 items that could put you into go mode.
That's true. That's true. And we also do have, as we were saying earlier, that possibility of Paradox Pedestal. Did EmoSaru drop off her green pendant yet? I know we
don't think so.
Because I know we asked that before, and the answer was no. But I still don't. Yeah, I still don't think she's been up there. So that could be interesting as well, especially with this kind of a setup where we're not getting much indication of a need to head over to pod, which would probably be where you would route that in otherwise.
Yeah, it very well could be, her go mode item once she does Skull Woods and catches in that shovel. So I would expect her to do it before diving into a pendant. I guess the only pendant she could dive into is pod. So yeah. But at that point, she would have full Turtle Rock access, so it would be interesting to see if she would check that before going all the way up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Because if it was go mode, then she could only she could manage to just climb once instead of twice.
True. And if it was go mode, you wouldn't be looking around Turtle Rock too much, although depending on key placement, go mode might not necessarily make a difference, unfortunately. Really nice cold stare fight happening there, though.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Barely even got one just managed to get out of the corner, and even then it just had 1 hit left. It looks like we didn't have any progression from ice, except for obviously the crystal that we need.
Yeah, there was a toy shield and a bomb upgrade. Not a lot of fun. We might be seeing the green pendant.
Yeah, she might be going to turn that in right. Looks like that's where she's headed.
And I would expect her actually to follow this up with pod, which might pay off.
Oh yeah, it looks like she's even popping into the dark world. That way she can easily mirror over as she's going through. I was going to call it a hedge maze, but I don't even know really what that stuff is. But the weird garden maze thing, which is right on top of where Sahasrarul's hut is in the light world. These things. What are these things?
I mean, I guess it's a hedge maze, but they also have pointed arrows to show you how to get through it. So it's not a very effective maze.
Yeah. Oh, just 300 rupees for the green pendant. I think the pod play is interesting, but would you feel compelled to do... Oh, she still doesn't have her red cane. I was going to say, wouldn't you feel compelled to do some Turtle Rock? But she doesn't have the red cane yet.
Yeah, she's electing to do this before Skull Woods, and I think Skull Woods just has one item.
Yeah, it's
so
just
I can see why she would make that decision, but you know, it is an interesting option.
Yeah. Although if she finds her flute, this could pay off really well. Or the bow. Or the book.
And she could just get locked out really soon, and then she knows this isn't it.
Oh, that's true as well. If it's bow locked, then you get that early reassurance that you don't need to, at least for now, find anything here.
Karnath, I do like that shield progression. Pot lid, pizza pan, cookie sheet. I think that's pretty appropriate. Magnon's electing to stock up on blue potions. I imagine he is making his way up to Turtle Rock.
I do keep wondering where we're going to find it. If this route divergence could be really big for one of them.
Yeah, and because EmoSaru is still looking for so many items, this makes Pod a more interesting play simply because she knows she's getting one item at most out of Skull Woods. So
Right.
It's not going to put her in go mode. It might be something she needs, but it's not going to get her there. So here she can get multiple items, and as long as it wasn't bow locked, and maybe get really just on the doorstep.
And so far, she's definitely picked up enough keys to at least check quite a few items.
Yeah, and the bow can't be back here, but her way into mire or her way into desert definitely could be, and from her perspective, so could the cane.
And we do see Magnon opening up Turtle Rock. About to head into there for also a lot of items. Both of these dungeons have holding the same amount of items, actually.
Yeah, I would expect that we're going to see our next progression item pretty soon from one of our runners. Of course, I didn't get a chance to see what images.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't see there, although we'll see in a moment if she decides to pop over to the big chest. Maybe it was the big key. Oh, butter sword.
Yeah, you're never unhappy to find the butter sword.
Oh, and she doesn't have the big key, so that's going to be it for...
Yes, there's a bow.
There is our bow. And that puts us still just that Booker flute away from our go mode.
Yeah, Magnon's getting really close now, so we'll see if it's in here, and if it's not, it could possibly be locked behind the big key in Pod.
Oh, that's true, because the bow... Yeah, because of the bow drop here. That could be interesting.
But really, we are definitely running out of items or item locations where that last progression could be.
Yeah, and that seems to be the theme of this seed. I mean, I know people have definitely been talking a lot about, there being a lot of sort of linear logic seeds going on in V26, but this one is interesting in that it's not even just that it's linear, it's been very restrictive. It's not even just that there's a specific linear path they're supposed to be taking, it's also there isn't even anywhere else to go a lot of the time on this seed.
Yeah, that was definitely the case early, and it's definitely the case now.
Yeah.
They've definitely just followed their path here. EmoSaru is looking at Skull Woods because it's pretty much all she can do, and Magnon's in Turtle Rock because it's pretty much all he could do.
Really nice Mothula fight there from EmoSaru.
Yeah, really nice. She wasn't really using the Fire Rod for damage as much as to get Mothula off of the spike so she could hit him with that Butter Sword.
Yeah. Now she's going to probably go and check that dig spot and get her red cane and also head up to Turtle Rock, which is going to lead her to that bow. And then that gives us either... Did they find everything in Eastern when they went there, or was it just that they couldn't keep going? I don't recall.
I think they found all 3 items, but I'm not positive.
Because like you said, we could be looking at a situation of Pod being the next progression after that.
Or it still could be the Paradox Pedestal Dream.
Yes, that as well. And there's the red cane for EmoSaru.
Or I guess not so much anymore. Oh, wait. No. So they could get the flute access. If they get the flute to get Meyer, then they'll have access. That's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. It was the bow. The bow was our last hope on that one.
Yeah, we lost the pedestal hype quite early in this one. I guess we just didn't realize it. I'm not sure how many items Magnon has found, but I don't think there's that many left.
All right, and he's gotta use the dark room here, navigating it very well.
The lamp was in Agnes' cave.
EmoSaru got herself stuck on a Cane of Samaria block there. I didn't see how that happened. I just looked over and saw it right on top of her.
Yeah, so we'll see what we find here in the laser bridge.
Oh, and there's the flute. Is that it? Is that her go mode?
That's go mode for Magnon.
We've got Magnon in go mode, and EmoSaru heading on that way as well, so we can get some go mode hype going. And after this, they'll have 2 pretty quick dungeons to wrap up.
So they don't have the silvers. Maybe Magnon was just checking those chests to see if he could find them really quick. Pretty quick checks right there.
Yeah, when you're already there, it's definitely not a bad thing to take a peek. And there's probably a few... We'll definitely... We might see quick item checks along the way. as they're going through certain dungeons.
When you've opened this many chests and you haven't found an item like the silvers, you're like, they've got to be like in the next chest because there's nothing left.
Yeah. Now I wonder if EmoSaru will go for the same thought process of looking for those silvers, or if because she has butter from going into pod, which I think she now knows would have held nothing, she might be feeling a bit behind and maybe not worry about silvers, since butter is still a pretty reliable weapon to go into Ganon with.
Yeah, I would suspect that she's just going to go as fast as possible. I think for her, the flute's going to be in one of the last spots she can check. So she's probably going to be worried about being behind.
Yeah. And this is, like we were talking about before, this was probably one of the most ideal seeds in terms of not worrying about that lamp. This is kind of the situation you would want to end up skipping that lamp over, and we're seeing that, for Magnon, who is not going to need it at all now.
Yeah, the dark rooms they had to do by the logic were not that difficult. They didn't have to go through Pendant Pod. They didn't have to go through Pendant Mire. So it's a pretty easy dark rooms.
Yeah. If anything, the escape sewer was probably the hardest of them all, which is odd.
Yeah,
not something you usually see, but that was probably the most difficult of the dark rooms they've had to do today.
Yeah, finding that last chest in there can sometimes be a little bit difficult. And those snakes can actually wreck you if you're not careful.
Yeah, Magnon took a quick little dash down just to see if those silvers were hanging out on the desert ledge. And he's got his big key. I think he might... Oh, I thought he was going to pop over and check the big chest, but no, he has mirrored right out and is heading to the back of the dungeon.
It does look like the boots were required, but they were right along the route, so it didn't really matter too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose they were maybe slightly out of the way, but not with the bow being in Turtle Rock. I think either way you would have ended up going through there. I think they both kind of checked it arguably earlier than they needed to, but it's great to have boots, so obviously it was the good decision. But I don't think there's any scenario where you would have been looking around too much for those boots if you went to desert and found out you needed them.
What I will say is, I would not be surprised if either of these players were in the main tournament just by watching them play. They're both playing very well throughout this whole seed.
And EmoSaru's got her flute and her key, so she is done with the laser bridge. She's now in go mode. And heading to try next. And you know, it's interesting because Magnon picked up another crystal there and has one left to go. But as we said, they're both fast ones. So with EmoSaru being right at this boss, 2 crystals might sound like a significant difference, but it mostly is because Turtle Rock is so long in comparison to the other 2 dungeons that have to be done here.
Yeah, Magnon has a lead, but it's not insurmountable.
And EmoSaru is getting the back strats for try next and pulling it off perfectly.
And this is good for Magnon. I did not want to curse him, but it is sometimes... Okay, he didn't come here before.
Oh, so... he wasn't here at all, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes runners will get that crystal that they were waiting on access for, and then just forget to go kill Armos Knights.
Yeah. But he's going to be taking a peek around for silvers, whereas EmoSaru's already been here, so that might also close the gap a little bit, which is interesting.
Yeah, he needs to find the big key.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he wouldn't even have the big key yet. Oh. Nice blue potion pickup there, though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a good time to pick up a free blue potion, that's for sure.
Yeah, so EmoSaru is going to get her flute, and she's going to be following Magnon very quickly. So we'll see how this ends up.
He has that big key. I can't imagine he would do the long walk around to the vanilla big key spot. I would guess it's just checking this chest and then heading to the boss.
Yeah, that seems most likely.
Oh, right, and he has no lamp, so he's gonna do the wonderful... Oh, he's going that way. Interesting. Nice. Making good use of the fire rod there.
He kind of brute forced it a little bit, but it worked out for him.
And I think one of the really cool things in general with this tournament has been seeing the very different routes that players can take that lead them to just being so close in terms of time. And a final farewell 300 rupees from Armos. And that will be Magnon17 Crystal, meaning he is going to be on his way to Ganon's Tower. And it is time for the Ganon's Tower Big Key guess. There are 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower, so we're looking for a number between 1 and 22 as to where you think the Big Key will be. Now, where do you think it'll be, Korek?
Let's go Tile Room. 22.
That's your last hope for something fully here, right? Just Tile Room.
Well, I haven't seen one in a while. It's been a while since I saw one, and we should be getting a couple a week, right? So.
Well, I was just thinking in terms of your other dream troll seed didn't happen, so this is your last hope. Is the Tile Room?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna say, you know what I haven't seen in ages is I want to see the Big Key past Ice Armos, just in the in one of the 3 chests after Ice Armos. We'll say, what does that usually have to mean it is? 15? No.
Using the non-right side route, it's 15 through 17, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll say 17, but I want it to be Ice Armos. Is also what I mean when I say that, even if the count doesn't work that way.
So I just realized, and this is a little bit off topic, but the key sanity mode, the Ganon's Tower Big Key, can really troll you, right? Like, we could have the most ultimate trolls with that.
It definitely can. It definitely can.
You could have Book in GT and have to leave to get the big key off a Bombo's tablet.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
You can also have the one that I played where the big key for Turtle Rock was in G Tower, and Turtle Rock was a pendant, and the big key for Ganon's Tower was on the pedestal. So,
That's amazing. When did this come out?
I don't know, but hopefully soon. Oh, and we've got number one. This has been the least trolliest seed. I'm so sorry, Korek.
Well, every once in a while it just happens this way.
Yeah. If you were just hoping to have more time to talk to me, we could just talk after. It's fine. We can just stay on voice chat and talk about key sanity seeds. I'm okay with that.
So Magnon opted to grab that second key, so he's all set now. EmoSaru is rushing to catch up, but Magnon is making his climb.
Magnon is in a very good spot right now. I think, based on what we've seen already, we might see him checking chests on the way up. In hopes for those silvers. But when you're handed the big key and the small key like that, you got to be thinking this is a good opportunity to really make some time here. If you just focus on going as fast as possible.
Yeah, and Magnon had some really nice silverless mimic rooms there.
Yeah.
He made it look easy, and trust me, it's not.
No, definitely not. That second one in particular is a huge pain. He's popping over here. Looks like he's got his net out so he can grab a fairy. And EmoSaru gets her 300 rupees and her last crystal.
Getting trolled a bit by these stall childs.
Yeah, they seem like they might be some basic enemies, but that jumping can get really annoying when you've got lasers flying at you and there's conveyor belts and ice.
Yeah, Fire Rod is definitely the weapon of choice for the stall childs in the gauntlet, at least in my opinion.
No, I definitely agree. I also love using Fire Rod on land molas, which we might be seeing a little bit of here. Yep. Sort of combining some sword spins with Fire Rod shots.
Yeah, definitely a good way to do it when you don't have the silvers, especially.
Now we're at the part which is this still Gauntlet? I've actually never quite been 100% clear on what we classify as the Gauntlet or not.
Yeah, I think the Gauntlet just goes through the Lambo 2.
Right.
Like that room before Lambo 2.
The Wizrobes don't put up enough of a fight, I guess, to be classified as part of the Gauntlet.
Just a couple rooms left for Magnon, and EmoSaru is opening up GT.
You know, on the plus side, it's that really early big key and small key, so she's about to she's gonna grab those and be trying to catch up quickly. We got the red mail over Magnon's side.
Yeah, looking for those silvers, but just getting the red mail instead. I'd imagine the silvers are in the basement here.
Oh, even the rare bonus key up here that technically makes it so that you wouldn't have needed a key, but
so we're coming into Moldorm 2. Dash and a spin gets the job done.
And I like the move that EmoSaru made just there. She went through and grabbed a second key, because I think when you have the one key, you still have to kill the mini Helmosaurus for a key. Whereas in this case, she's going to be able to just skip that entirely and keep going.
Yep, that is correct. It's definitely easier to get that second key off the pot there than from the mini Helmosaur. And we have a triple.
Wow. Really nice triple there. Yeah, Magnon does have fairies. As we will see now. Although, despite the fairy, there is a little bit of animation there. That is a tiny bit of time spent as EmoSaru is making her way on catching up. And things like that can definitely add up sometimes, depending on your opponent's situation. Magnon's dropping into his Ganon fight.
EmoSaru's on land mode too. Magnon needs 12 hits per phase here. Phase 2 Cape Strat's very nice.
Yep. I think we all agree that phase 2 is the worst, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you have half magic in the cape, I mean, why not?
All right, we're getting set up for a silverless here.
Ooh, Magnon just manages to grab the torch glitch using the fire rod. A really nice shot there.
I was getting a little worried. He was having trouble getting there, but he made it.
Yeah, that's definitely important when you have to do sword spins.
Yeah, especially since he doesn't have the lamp.
Oh, he falls.
Oh wow!
No.
This is huge.
Oh, this could make so much difference. Wow.
This suddenly got very close.
Wow. That's almost unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in shock right now.
Yeah, we'll see how EmoSaru does with Agate 2.
I don't know what her situation is with fairies, if she stopped to grab any. She's a little low on health at the moment.
She does have a few blue pots. I mean, Magnon still has a shot here, but he can't screw up again. Or
and he has to
have
do
Ganon troll him again.
Yeah, and he has to do very well in his sword spins in that last phase, because EmoSaru is going to have a lot less work to do in terms of killing Ganon silverless. She's going to have a lot less work to do on this whole fight, really.
Yep. And even the torch glitch is going to be easier for her. So yeah, this is going to be very, very exciting. Both runners in the fight with Ganon at the same time.
Oh, and did you see? I didn't. Oh,
I mean, this is a glitch on that one. That's huge.
I also didn't. I missed the message the first time. Did Ganon say the silver arrows were in Ganon's tower?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he almost fell again. Oh
wow. So EmoSaru is going to make quick work of these first couple of phases.
Magnon's got to keep relighting both of these torches with his fire rod. Oh! What happened there?
I don't know.
I didn't even see him get hit, really, but something must have hit him. But it almost looked like he didn't get hit.
I think he's going to get the silvers.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Oh, wow. This really changes things significantly. I mean, there's kind of no doubt at this point. EmoSaru definitely knows how to go through this fight with butter and no silvers.
Yep.
But he was so close.
But she gets it and gets away safely.
He was so close, though. That is really intense.
Yeah, this is a really good race. Unfortunately, I guess Magnon just wasn't that comfortable with his silverless Ganon fight, especially after missing the torch glitch the second time. I think he just got a little bit nervous about finishing out that fight, and we're gonna get the silvers now.
EmoSaru is going to be picking up her third win in her group from this as well. But I imagine she's going to be interested to hear how close this was to not being a win.
Well, I'm sure she feels behind because she found her go mode item about the last place she could find it.
Yeah. I would definitely think in this situation she thinks that she's behind. And to be fair, she was. But that's going to be GG for EmoSaru.
GG.
A complete twist. Complete turn of events there. And she finished... Not yet, apparently. Ignore what I was just saying.
Oh, EmoSaru finishes with an official SRL time of 150.
Oh, why did I got booted out of the room, so you've got it. Cool. Oh, that just completely turned around. That I was not expecting that in the slightest.
Yeah, that was insane. That's an insane finish.
There's the book. And so I'm wondering if we'll be getting to talk about what.
Yeah, and let's let's just talk about Magnon in this seed. He got to Ganon quite a few minutes before EmoSaru. He made good routing decisions all throughout. Just got tripped up on Silverless Ganon, but he had a great race, and he's trying to finish out strong here. So
yeah, I mean, I don't.
Finish up.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't. You can't count out his abilities by any means, because up until it was really just the Silverless Ganon fight itself, which is what tripped him up. But otherwise, he was winning. I think EmoSaru is with us. GG.
Hey, thank you.
I don't know if you caught the last bit of what I was saying there, but that was so close.
I did not catch any of it, actually.
Okay.
As soon as I got done, I immediately had to go take care of something.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, vis-a-vis a large cup of tea that I've been drinking.
Fair.
So at any rate, yeah, so how close was it? Where is Magnon?
So it was so close that it seemed like you weren't going to win.
Oh, wow.
Magnon was at the Ganon fight. I think you were either still in the gauntlet or just entering it.
Oh, wow.
And then Magnon falls to Ganon once. So that gives you a bit of time to catch up, and then starts doing the Silverless phase of Ganon with Tempered Sword, by the way. Okay. And decided that I guess he wasn't feeling like he could do it, and so he dipped out, and he's now in G Tower grabbing the silvers.
Oh no!
Yeah. And he missed the torch glitch the second time, and I think that has something to do with it.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's like Tilt City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
more or less, but that really sucks. Honestly, going into this race, we were talking earlier, Magnon and I, and I think, looking at the numbers, like from the qualifiers and just everything, I told him, I was like, I think we're really close. I won't be surprised if either of us wins. So I'm just sad to hear that that's why I won, honestly, because I would have loved not to. Obviously, I'm happy I won, but but that sucks for him, and I'm really sorry that happened.
Yeah. I think up until that point, it was. I'm trying to remember now, because my mind is now totally focused on everything that just happened, because it was pretty hype in here over just what just happened. That was wild. But there was one specific. Oh, it was getting. There was an item to get into Turtle Rock to get the bow. That was kind of the thing that was making the big difference between the two of you, and again leading Magnon to seeming like he was going to win.
So he found Samaria earlier.
Yeah, he never went to Pod, so that got him ahead.
Yeah. Yep, that's like, I don't know, 5 minutes right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, going into Pod was a gamble. I had a feeling that up until Pod, we were probably pretty close, because I sequence braked the the sewers, and I know he usually checks I think Agana earlier than I do, and I think that's where the lamp was.
It was, although in this case he actually didn't get it. He never got the lamp.
Cool. Did he do the dark sewers then?
Yeah, he actually did the dark sewers pretty early.
Great.
And I get the feeling that he kind of worked out, where the lamp was, and probably then looked at, the dungeons that needed to be completed and kind of went, oh, well, it's fine, and didn't worry about it,
Yeah, I thought seriously about doing that. But in general, because I had sequence broken a little bit, there were a few options for progression. And my mental randomizer algebra made me decide to go check that, even though in hindsight it probably was guaranteed to be the lamp from a requirement standpoint.
Yeah, I think from our perspective, we kind of worked out fairly early on that it was guaranteed to be the lamp, but you definitely had reason to believe it could have been something else.
Yeah, it's the risk of the sequence breaks, but fortunately, once I saw what was on Bumper Cave and all of that, I was like, okay, I think all my sequence breaking probably actually ended up in a wash with not sequence breaking. So at least it didn't hurt me much. But yeah, if he didn't go into pod, that's a pretty major difference for sure. Because I cleared everything except the bow-locked portion of that dungeon, so.
And Magnon's making his way back up the pyramid with silvers in tow, so
thank goodness.
Hopefully can finish up here.
Where were they in G Tower?
They were the first chest after Ice Armos.
Oh, God. That's so annoying. I was honestly, taken aback when I found the big key right there.
Oh, the very first... Yeah, we were... we were pretty surprised to see that right away, and then, again, it was just that pretty significant lead that was happening for Magnon, and when the second drop happened, it was just everyone was like, what?
Oh,
what?
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
And on the plus side, though, congrats on your third win in your group, I believe this is now.
Thank you. Yeah, I am 3-0. Although from the sound of it, I probably should be 2-1, but I will take it.
I mean, it still counts. It still counts.
Yeah, it does. I just feel bad for Magnon. That sucks. I've been in that position before, and it's just, God, it's such a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
And I imagine that me Dunning did not improve that feeling for him, to say the least.
Yeah. And the feeling of tilting on Ganon is always pretty rough.
Oh, it's brutal. It's completely brutal. And I mean, Silverless sucks. And especially if you whiff on the torch glitch, which can happen to pretty much anybody. Oh man, that just sucks so much.
And we have a GG for Magnon.
GG to Magnon.
And I think, Korek, I got booted out of the room, so I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I got booted again too. So.
Oh, okay. We don't know the time on that one. Unfortunately, his timer says 1 hour and 58 minutes. And
his time was, he finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 36 seconds.
Nice. See, EmoSaru's got us covered.
Yeah. No problem.
We both got kicked out of the race room for some reason, so
Yeah, SRL and SRL in general has been interesting tonight, to say the least. We almost played the choose your own adventure version of this race in Discord, but
and so we might be getting Magnon into chat a little bit too.
I apologize. I probably gave you guys a little bit of a slideshow at times. I know I saw my frame drop indicator pulsing at a rate that made me very uncomfortable. So thank you, Comcast. GG to Comcast gigabit internet in the Northern California region. It works great. So highly recommend.
It's okay. We saw all the important parts. I don't think I think we might have made a miss one item grab or something.
There were a couple mystery items, but no big deal.
Yeah.
you have any other thoughts on this seed? Probably a lot of,
gosh. I mean, I guess the one positive thing that I'll say is I'm really, really happy that both Bo and Flute were in Turtle Rock, and that I didn't have to go on an adventure to go find both of them. But other than that, I don't know. It felt very V2060 to me. So yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey Magnon, GG.
Hey,
GG.
GG.
Right now.
Thanks.
I heard what happened to you, and I am really sad that I won now.
How are you feeling? You seem to tilt a little bit there on the Ganon fight, unfortunately.
Kind of hate myself.
Oh.
I mean, as we were just talking with EmoSaru, it happens. It definitely happens, and it's one of the most. It feels very frustrating when you're in that position, I'm sure.
Silverless Ganon's probably the one thing I don't know how to do.
How much have you practiced it?
Only once or twice, honestly.
Okay. Honestly,
fair.
like for even like having the guts to go after it, like GG. Like if you haven't like practiced that a bunch, like seriously, that's rad. Like super cool. 'Cause yeah, that is a scary encounter. No matter what sword you have.
Yeah, and you were definitely doing the right setup. We weren't sure necessarily what had happened to lead you to duck out of it. So I guess now we know what the situation was there. But aside from that, you definitely did a great job on this seed, and were in fact in the lead for a great portion of it, even up until the end there.
Emo, how soon did you find the hammer?
That's a really good question. I found it quite early, I feel, but I don't remember what time.
I mean, Magnon did get it first.
Where was the hammer?
The dark room in Escape, the sewers.
Okay, yeah, I got it very early then. Because I went in there. I didn't wait too terribly long to go in there this time. Probably, I don't know, like 25 minutes. Somewhere around there.
So Magnon actually had the hammer when he went up to Death Mountain the first time.
Oh,
so he
nice.
had it pretty early.
Nice, yeah.
I think I went almost immediately to Escape.
Yeah, I delayed Escape a little bit, but then I also delayed Death Mountain to go check some other stuff. So yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I don't know. Like I was telling them, we were talking earlier, and I think we both knew it was going to be really close, and it sounds like it was quite close. Which, honestly, I would have been perfectly happy either way this went. So.
Yeah, definitely. If I was going to lose, I'm glad it was to Silverless Ganon, because, like I said, it's the only thing I don't know how to do.
Yeah, I mean, but from the sound of it, everything that you've practiced, like you clearly must have nailed pretty well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really sort of the defining difference. So you, if you get that Silverless Ganon down, that'll be huge. And it again, you looked like you had the setup going for it. So I think you'll have it before you know it.
Yeah, it sounds like you outrouted me too, because I actually dipped into Pod.
Yeah.
And cleared all the chests out of there. And apparently you were smart enough to not do that. So also GG on that.
I was panicking the whole time because I was convinced that the bow or flute or the book was going to be in like Pod or the beginning of Eastern Palace.
Right. I had the same feeling. And then we got that Turtle Rock, which was like, I thought I breathed such a huge sigh of relief when I found the flute on Wazer Bridge. Like that was like, oh, thank God. I don't want to deal with this. So
I actually never checked Agana, and I was convinced the entire time that was going to be my biggest mistake.
Apparently, so the lamp was there, and I actually did go check it, because even after I did the dark room in the sewers, because I was like, if there's something good there, I watched his videos. I know he checks that cave, and then of course you didn't check it this time, which is great.
I would have if I ended up having to dip into Pod or Mire, that's for sure.
Yeah, we were actually. Oh, I cut off there. We were actually thinking that you probably had worked out that it was the lamp at some point. We figured you had an idea of that. Maybe you could confirm if that's the case or not. Because it seemed like you were very comfortable with all the dark rooms that you had to do, so it could have very well. We were kind of thinking you probably knew it was the lamp, and then thought, I don't need that.
I assumed it was either there or at the beginning of Eastern Palace. To be honest, I couldn't think of anywhere else it would be.
Oh, that's true, because when you got to Eastern to get the crystal, you hadn't actually been there before. I forgot about that. EmoSaru had checked Eastern earlier. That was one of the other things where you got that hammer earlier. She was in Eastern, I think, when you picked up the hammer.
Yep. Yeah, skipping pod was smart. I wish I had skipped pod. Because I was really disappointed the whole time I was in there, so...
But yeah, and I think if you have any other thoughts, either of you, on this seed, we can get wrapped up here.
All I have to say is I definitely have to practice Silverless, and if I was going to lose, I can't imagine anybody else other than Emo that I would have lost to.
Well, GG. And like, honestly, I was literally right up until the moment that I done, I was convinced that I was going to see a done in IRC like any second now. So yeah, GG. I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad it was so close. I hope it was enjoyable for everybody, and thank you guys for commentating, and whoever is tracking Trank maybe. And,
Trank, yeah, it's Trank.
Yep. And I think Felix is the restreamer.
Yep.
So big thanks to him too.
Yeah, thank you guys for an awesome race.
Cool.
Thank you too. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Good night.
Thank you, chat, for being here. As you guys probably know by now, we've got 4 Speed Gaming channels, 4 Randomizer Mania channels. You should check them all out so that you can catch all of the Link to the Past tournament action that's going on. I think everything's done for tonight, unless I missed something. But I think unless there's a few races still going on that just started, I think it's going to be a wrap for everyone tonight. But be sure to check the schedule and check out those channels. And Korek, thanks for being here with me.
Yeah, thanks for co-commentating. Please follow our runners. It was a great race, great show. Follow our tracker. Follow our restreamer. It was just follow Basley. Watch his Sprite making streams. They're great.
And follow Korek because he's really good at this game. Really, really good at this game. Everybody have a good night. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, and Sakura is saying there is a race at midnight on Gaming too. So,
well, look at that. Where you can go over there to see more randomizer action.
But nice. Yep. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a great one.
Bye.